Hey, welcome to another episode.
If you for some reason decided to listen to another
Or
one.
maybe this is your first one and
M
this is how you're finding us, which is
maybe.
hopefully going to be better than the last time.
Yeah, just remember the camera's up
I
there.
know, I can't help but look at myself.
So we talked last time about the experience that we had at Premiere Orlando, and then we kind of just went over, thoughts, takeaways, stuff like that. Briefly introduced ourselves, but then we figured, it probably made sense to do a formal introduction.
Mm,
Who we are, how we got into skincare, why we're still in skincare, what we like about skincare. I guess just to start, Jade, who are you?
Loaded question.
She has lots of stories.
I do have lots of stories. Jade.
Yes.
I have been a licensed esthetician for 3 years, 4 years. I don't know.
She's allegedly been an esthetician
I am an
for 3 to 4
esthetician.
years.
Um, we'll figure it out one day. I am a licensed esthetician.
Mhm.
Um,
She says.
I was, I don't know. What are we just introducing ourselves right now? And like what?
I mean, I guess just like some brief background and then like whatever ended up happening that got you into,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
I guess the decision to go to school for
Yeah.
it. We could start there.
I think it's been like coming on 4 years. That just makes more sense because it's been 2 years since I got my laser license. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But you got that very shortly after I started. Like you finished it
Yeah.
shortly after I started.
Yeah. So I'm not just an esthetician. I'm an esthetician and a licensed laser tech and electrologist. And I found the skincare industry or got interested in the skincare industry when I really kind of during COVID. Because
Same.
um I was working at an insurance company in customer service and quickly realized that I didn't really want to be sitting at a desk all day long. It's not something that I was interested in. Also, it was COVID and people kind of got mean and cranky. So I decided that I was going to leave that job and go to school full time. And then immediately, first place I interviewed at, only place I interviewed at was Bella Gina. And I went into the interview saying, I don't want this job because it was a front desk job. And I
Mhm.
was like, I did this to get away from working at a desk. I don't want this job. So I'm just doing it to get some practice in. And also we both had the same teacher, obviously different times, but
Mhm.
Miss Lisa, our teacher, she was like hounding me about it. She was like, Jade, you need to just like go interview. And I was like, I don't want to. And she was like every day she'd be like, just send them your resume. Like if you don't want to
Mhm.
talk to them, just send them your resume. And finally I was like, okay. And then and we'd gotten like further into school too. And I was kind of realizing like I don't think I'm gonna leave school and then immediately go like practice on somebody and like work on somebody and like give them a facial even
It almost
because
doesn't make sense. Like,
there's just not enough time and not enough training. So I caved, sent my application or sent my resume in and then went in for the interview and then I was like, oh, I think I actually like it there. And then they offered me the job and I took it and literally never interviewed anywhere else. And I think a good portion of why I got the job was because I went into that interview thinking, well, I don't really even want this job. So I wasn't as anxious about it
yeah.
because I've never not been anxious for an interview. Like anytime I've gone to interview, it's like I need this job. So I'm
Mhm.
like, and this was like the first job that I'd ever gone into just being like, I don't want it. And it worked out because I would have never gotten my laser license if I
Mhm.
hadn't worked there and our boss hadn't pushed me into, in a boss nice way, not a, like aggressive way,
Encourage your development.
encouraged me to go to school to
Yes.
get that laser license. But yeah, so that's kind of what led me to where I'm at currently. It's the only job in the industry that both of us have had. That's where I'm at. What about you?
So similar to Jade, it was during COVID. when I got really into skincare. I had been in and around skincare for a number of years. My mother's an esthetician, and so I mean, I say that, but, like, it really wasn't, like, a very prominent part of my life. Like, I knew that that's what she did. It wasn't
Yeah.
really, like, this thing that she would come home and talk about,
Yeah.
because realistically, I don't think that she was terribly passionate about it. I think it was really kind of just a job for her.
Mm.
She got into it, realized that you have to, like, extract pimples on occasion, and absolutely like, she almost, like, left school. When she found out that she had to pop pimples on occasion, she almost said, "Absolutely not." Which is hilarious because so many people love that part.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's, like, what leads people to it sometimes,
Yes,
yeah.
but she had been doing it for a number of years. She primarily worked in, offices with physicians. She worked at, a plastic surgeon's office for a number of years, but then at the same time, like, what she focused on was much more of that, like, experiential piece. She ultimately got trained in reflexology and decided to use that as a complement to her facial services. She would actually use it pre and post-op for
Mm.
people that were, in the
Yeah.
plastics department. They would go to her prior to surgery, kind of just, like, as a supplement to, whatever other pre-op work you were doing and,
Yeah.
post-care, for recovery, like relaxation, that kind of thing, depending upon how much you believe in reflexology. Um, the thing that I think got me most interested in skincare was the fact that I was dealing with acne basically since I was like 13, 14, like,
Yeah.
a lot of teenage boys. Um, I, even with her being an esthetician, bringing home on occasion, like, some products and stuff. I mean, sometimes she would bring home products and they'd be really, really effective, and other times they wouldn't really be, but, like, she wasn't in a position to, like, really effectively help me with that because
Yeah.
it wasn't the thing that she specialized in. And so it never really got fully resolved. But she's also of the ilk that believes that dermatologists aren't like the best thing in the world. And so she never really went out of her way to take me to one,
Mhm.
which meant that those prescription options I was never really faced with. And so, for whatever reason, she chose not to do that. And so it wasn't until I was in my early to mid 20s when I was literally looking online, and I remember looking at the different, like, website
Mhm.
and the before and afters. I was like, "Well, these are incredible." And I was like, "This is amazing." And I had tried so many things. I say tried so many things. People are like, "Oh, I tried everything. I tried everything." I did not try everything because
Yeah.
I never went to a dermatologist.
Well,
But, I had tried a lot of the things that she had brought home.
yeah.
And I was under because, she's the one that raised me. I was under the impression that even if I went to go see a dermatologist, it wouldn't really result in anything because
Yeah.
she had it in her mind that they weren't really good at resolving acne. And so I never went to go see one. So those treatments I never really tried, but I saw it and there was something that was very interesting because it was one of the first times where I remember, like, you get the like, whatever it is, and, like, you have, like, the pamphlet that, like,
Mhm.
has the instructions for use, and on the pamphlet for Differin, it says, "Takes 3 to 6 months," and I said,
Mhm.
"Well, that's unfortunate, but I'm going to commit to it,"
Yeah.
and I did, and then my skin started to get much, much better, and then that kinda just, like, from there, I was like, "Well, this is interesting," and then when the pandemic started, I remember, and I think I told you about this, there was the esthetician Caroline Hirons. She started doing, like, daily lives
Yeah.
from home, basically just, like, talking about, like, cleansing and then talking about exfoliating and then talking about moisturizing. Like, she just, like, had these little mini master classes on all these different topics within
Yeah.
skincare, and I was, like, absolutely fascinated by it. Before then, I think I found the esthetician that is neither alive nor dead
Mhm.
just before that, and so I was already kinda, like, getting into it, but
Yeah.
then when the pandemic started
When pandemic.
when pandemic started, that's when it, like, really took off, I would say,
Yeah.
because I already kind of had this interest, and then I was just sitting there at home,
Yeah.
and, like, that's what was available, and I was watching it.
Yeah.
Really started to learn a lot more. Dr. Sam Bunting, I found her videos in part because I was watching Carolyn Hirons. They're both from the UK, and so they were, in a similar
Mhm.
space. And then also the Emma Gunn Show. she's a podcast creator in the UK, and she knows Caroline Hirons and Dr.
Mm.
Sam Bunting, and so I was kind of like in this weird little world of UK skincare.
Mm-hmm.
And then just got very interested in it and decided at some point when it was determined that I was going to be moving to Florida, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do it. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
just, go ahead and go back to school. Because I have my bachelor's in something completely unrelated to skincare,
Yeah.
global and international studies, with
It's gonna get you real far.
with minors in religious studies, psychology, and anthropology. Just like nursing. Very
Yeah.
straightforward. Loved that experience. I think it did actually prepare me thoroughly for a lot of different kinds of jobs, but it was not like you get this degree for that job kind of situation.
Yeah.
And so after I graduated, there wasn't like a very clear through line.
Yeah.
And so I decided, because it takes so little time in Florida to become an esthetician, I was like, okay, well, so
Yeah.
this is something that I could do. It wouldn't be like a huge investment of time or money. So if
Yeah.
it didn't pan out, it wasn't going to be like I was out 4 more years or
Right.
$30,000 of student debt.
Right.
So it kind of felt like there wasn't really much to lose. And so then when I moved here, I wanted to wait a year to get in-state tuition
Yeah.
because it was going to be like literally 4 times as expensive.
Yeah.
Still, like as far as schooling is concerned, not that expensive, but when the base price is still like
You
a
don't want
couple
to pay
thousand
more just to
dollars.
pay more. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was still like kind of getting my footing here. And so I kind of just spent that entire year.
If you would have gone the year before, though, you probably would have got it paid for because I got a grant because
See,
of like COVID
I
times
know,
and it
and I
paid for
didn't,
it.
I was not
I didn't
aware
even
of these
ask for the
things.
grant. My teacher was just like, go online and fill this out. And I was like, no, 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 no. Like, I'm not going to get this. Like, I've made too much money, like, when I was working. And she
Hmm.
was like, no, they don't care. Everybody's going to get it. And I was like, okay.
Well, that would have been nice. I did pay for it out of pocket, and absolutely worth it. I mean, for what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, very the esthetician that is neither alive or dead. I remember there was a video that she made, and somehow it came up, and she was like, "School is for getting your license."
Yeah.
And so that is how I approached it. I knew that it was just about, checking off, that
Mm-hmm.
particular box. I also like, it's either on the job training or it is personal study.
Yeah.
Like, you will not have, if you find a good esthetician, they're not a good esthetician because they went to a good school.
No.
I guess that is what I'm saying.
No.
They are a good esthetician because they either have enough experience or they
Yeah.
took the time to go and do additional
You
training.
have to like search out the information yourself. You have to like learn about the ingredients because
Ingredients specifically.
like that is not talked about in school. I feel like the most ingredient wise that we talked about in class was like vitamin C for some reason. I remember us talking about vitamin C
Mhm.
a lot, which is great. Love vitamin C, but like I don't remember us talking about many other ingredients at all for some
There
reason. Like,
It wasn't set up for that, I
no,
don't think. I mean,
no.
vitamin C is kind of like an easy thing to talk about because it's not, I mean, there's a lot to talk about
Yeah.
with vitamin C, but like the basics,
And like our
straightforward.
test had nothing about ingredients
No.
on it. It was like you need to understand the skin, but even then, like we're gonna give you the base knowledge of that.
You need to know how to safely give a facial,
Yeah.
wax someone,
Yeah.
and
Even though I think our waxing was like 2 days of training.
of like the practical, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because that was the thing, is like you would spend some time like studying, like learning what the contraindications
Yeah.
would be so
Yeah.
that you could decide, okay, can this person safely receive XYZ service? And then have a certain number of practical sessions where you've
Yeah.
actually done the thing. And then the makeup
I was gonna
portion,
say we had to do makeup,
I
which was literally just me going to school with my bag of makeup and spending all day doing a look, taking it off, doing another look. Because again, I went more peak COVID time than you did.
Mhm.
So we didn't really have other people to work on. Like we could work on
We weren't wearing
each
masks when I
other.
went.
We weren't wearing masks, but like, we couldn't bring anybody in. Like the
Mhm.
outside couldn't come in. And it's a technical school. A lot of the people in the school are men. They're not going to
Lots
come
of
and
men.
get their makeup done. They did like to come and get facials, I think just because they wanted to not be in class, but they're not going to come and let us do makeup on them. And
No,
so
that would be gay.
that would be gay. I did do a brow wax on this guy once at school, and I like was so, I only did a little bit because I was like, he's not gonna want, and then like showed him it in the mirror, and he's like, "Do you think you could like actually shape them?" And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Gay.
He was in like mechanics or something. I
They
mean, he
all
could
are.
be gay. He could be gay.
They all are.
Um,
Or like HVAC. They do that
yeah,
there.
like
Um,
woodworking.
woodworking,
I don't
pharmacy
even,
tech.
was it actually
Those were
woodworking
all one
though,
word
or
now.
was it?
No, there were lots of
Oh,
things.
we never interacted with the pharmacy techs.
I didn't either, but I know that it's there. There's
Oh.
also dental hygienists.
Yeah, that's at a different campus though. There's multiple
That would make
campuses, yeah.
sense. Yes.
We were at the nicer campus.
When I was looking at going to this school, I was like, should I go to this campus or that campus? Because they offer the aesthetics program at the other one.
Oh, they do?
They do.
It's not a newer building. It's not as,
The East Campus?
yeah,
I mean,
unless they redid it from the last time I saw
they
it.
may have redone it. I don't know. I mean, it looked fine, but I would have been able to just hop on the road, go right down the street, and basically I would be there. But I literally chose the main campus because I figured that the students in the class and in the school would be more diverse.
Yeah,
You'd have like a broader range of perspectives there. And I think that that was ultimately true. But I lucked out because that's also where Miss Lisa teaches.
right.
Um, and she was fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that a lot of people that trained to become estheticians can say that they were trained by a doctor,
Yeah.
um, much less a doctor that specialized in plastics.
Yeah.
Like when I mean, she wasn't a plastic surgeon herself, but she would assist on a lot of those procedures. And
Let's not
she
tell her we have a podcast.
would be so happy.
Oh my
Oh my God,
gosh.
she would
She
listen
would
to. She would
cry.
probably make her students listen to it.
She
She would like,
would.
see,
She would.
they're doing things.
Maybe we should tell her we have a podcast. She would be like, "Oh, my babies,"
Yes,
and then give us a big hug.
she'll probably cry. She'll
Yeah,
cry.
she would cry. Like when she when she came to that event and saw, like, she came to like say hi to us, and then I think somebody else was there that she didn't realize was there still, and then she was like, "Oh my goodness, all my babies are here," and I was like, could see tears in her eyes. She cried the day, like that was our last day,
Mhm.
like when we like got her like the
Same.
flowers and everything. She cried every time she hugged each of us like for a picture. Like she's just the cutest
She
person
was
ever.
amazing.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Nothing about Miss Lisa initially. I don't even know.
Oh, how we got into, yes. So then
Yeah,
I
how
ended
we
up going
yeah.
to that school,
Yeah.
and then Miss Lisa.
Hmm.
So same instructor. So the only reason that this, I mean, she may have brought it up as another point if we didn't have this conversation, but we, the way it was set up was that you would have like theory days and practical days. Like the
Yeah.
practical days were like just services. Like you
Yeah.
were basically doing them back to back to back. Like there wasn't any like, oh, let's get ready to do our services. Let's go over our notes, blah, blah, blah. It was like you get
Yeah.
there, you're getting your stuff ready, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But on the theory days, which are my favorite days, because you could just like sit there and like be a student, which
You're
is like
such a nerd.
the
I
thing that
hated
I
those
like doing.
days.
I loved those days. Um, and I didn't really understand how people had time to go and take a lunch because like there was so much to do. It's weird because like some days I felt like I was gasping for air because it was so like the practical days, I felt absolutely exhausted.
Hmm.
Didn't eat for like 8 hours because you can't. There was no
Hmm.
time because you're always running behind because you're a student, you're not getting done in time.
I didn't have the same experience though because we
Y-
didn't have people like coming
That is
in
the
and making
difference. We had
appointments
people
set.
in.
Like we had to go find our people. We had to find our clients and walk around the school and be like, "Hey, come get a facial." And then I also didn't I didn't work
Mhm.
throughout school,
Oh,
and
I
you
did.
did.
I had
So I didn't feel like I was ever at a point where I was like gasping or anything, but I did like, there were points where I was like stressed out and I was like, I don't know how anybody is doing this and working right now.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if this sounds ridiculous and I'm just a baby, but like I could not be working throughout this right now. I was like, this is enough because it's
It's
basically a
like 8
full-time
yeah, it's like
job.
8
Like,
AM to, like, 3:30 or something,
yeah.
and that's, like, Monday through Friday,
But
but
then, like, you leave school, and then you immediately have to, like, go and, like, do like, you have to study, you have to do your work, and
mhm.
then, yeah, I was like, I don't know how anybody has this time.
Well, and the thing too is that because it's so in Florida, it's a relative to some of the other states, it's a more brief program, like, every
Yeah,
single state is different,
yeah,
but they're still trying to pack a ton of s information
yeah,
into a very small period of time, so, like anything, like, learning something and then memorizing it because you know,
mhm,
like, you're ultimately gonna be tested.
mhm,
I mean, I'll never forget, there was a question on one of the tests, the practice exam that she would give us that was basically like it was it was suggesting that the people with the deeper skin
yeah,
tone had more melanocytes
mhm,
than people with the lighter skin tone,
mhm,
which is not true, but the way it was worded was, like, really weird,
yeah,
and I went over it with her, and she was like, "That's not the right answer." And I was
yeah,
like, "But why?" And she basically was like, "They need to revise the question, but I'm telling
yeah.
you that this is the right answer."
Also,
So
like, it's so intriguing that, like, the questions on this test probably haven't changed in, like, so long. We could probably go take that test again, and it's the same question.
yes, I would not know the answers as readily as I did
No.
before
No. I'd
because
have to read those flashcards for, like, 3 days straight like I did and just burn them into my brain.
my god, we played Kahoot
Yeah.
to prepare, and I got so invested.
I was,
I
like
was like, "I have to win. I have to win Kahoot."
I was just, like, delusional the whole time. I was like, "I'm gonna fail this test." I would make my boyfriend study, like, read with me, like, read them and, like, I answer the questions. Every person in my life, my parents, Tyler, my sister, who had literally just birthed a baby, and I'm like, "Read me these cards!" Like, literally to the point of, like, I was going to start crying because I had fully convinced myself that I was going to fail the test and that I was stupid and I knew nothing, even though I knew all the answers every time. Like you'd
Mhm,
literally read a word off the card and I'd be like, "Blah, blah, blah." Like I
mhm.
knew the answer. Like I'd synced them all up and then I still was like, I'm gonna fail this test. And the morning of the test, I think everybody in my class just thought that I was like really annoying and like because I was literally sitting there and I just started crying because I was like, I'm not going to pass this
Oh
test
my
because I have
god.
really, really bad testing anxiety.
For the record, if we were in the same class together and I saw her start crying, I would think that she was annoying.
I like was having a full on panic attack. I was also not medicated at this time. So I actually probably was having a panic attack. I
She was
remember
doing
like
it for attention.
the girl next to me was like, girl, you're fine. And I was like, I don't think I am. I got 100%.
Same. Like a perfect score. Yeah, that was oh my gosh, and I was so because after I finished, because we got our did you get your score the same day?
I think so, yeah.
We weren't supposed to, and, like, one of the people not because there was a rule against it, but because, like, the whoever you have to go to a different part of the building
Yeah.
and, like, interact with a different department for the test, and
Oh
they
my
were
god,
saying
yeah, I forgot about that. Like, Miss Lisa
yes.
wasn't in the room, and I didn't know that was gonna be the case until, like, day of, and then I was like,
Yeah, and then it's in
"Who
a completely different part
who
of the
is this
building,
person?"
and
I
which
think we were in the
also
same building, we just had to walk to, like,
different
where
part of the building.
yeah, where they did
Yes.
the nail class that wasn't existent at the time.
Oh, ours was in a different place
Mm,
because the nail class did exist by that point.
mm,
But interesting fact, you're more likely to recall information in the setting in which you learned it. So technically, we should have been doing the exam in the room
mm.
where we were doing all of the theory and the practicals, everything.
But that would just make it too easy.
Too easy. Um,
That would basically be cheating.
what was I gonna say? Oh yes, she somebody one of the classmates,
Oh, yeah.
one of my classmates was like, so we all came down after finishing the exam, and then our instructor was like, well, yeah, so like you're probably going to get the results like tomorrow. And one of the girls was like, oh, hell no, absolutely not. And she literally left the room, walked her ass back up to the room where we did the test, and was like, so the results. And we got the results.
Well, it makes no sense to make people wait.
No, it's a Scantron.
Yeah.
Put it through
Yeah.
put it through the thingy,
I
and then
forgot
give
that
me
it
the
was a
results.
Scantron.
I was so anxious. Not because I thought that I wasn't going to pass,
Yeah.
but I was like, if I get one question wrong, I'll never live it down.
Oh, I'm not that person. I don't care. If I get a C and I pass, I'm good.
Mm-mm.
I just need to know that I pass. I have like the anxiety of like my brain tells me I'm going to fail and I'm stupid. A worse testing anxiety day was when I took my electrology
Oh,
test.
yes. I remember you telling me about that.
That was a not fun day because the testing center was in Sarasota, which is like 40 minutes away from my house. And I, again, have testing anxiety. And this test, I was like, I'm going to fail this test because God bless the teacher that taught me in school there. But she wasn't a Miss Lisa. She was just there. She talked us through things, but like we'd be like, what's the answer to this question? And she'd be like, oh, let me look into that for you. And we're like,
She didn't pretend.
no, she didn't pretend. She didn't pretend. And it was like a lot more detailed. And you literally had to go to a testing center. Like I didn't take the test at the school that I went to. I had to go to a testing center. I've never been to a testing center before. It was like this.
They're not the nicest places.
No. And it's like where like doctors have to go and take their like boards and nurses and stuff like that. And I'm like,
but you're a doctor.
Just kidding. I just want to laser some coochies. Not actually. Well, yes, but but driving there, I left my house and 5 minutes after I left my house, sitting completely still in my car, this woman rear ends me. And I'm already like, I already can't breathe because I'm going to take this huge test that has a bunch of questions
at a testing center.
And I'm like sitting there. And then this woman rear ends me. And I was like,
that's the end.
I just started crying my eyes out. And I was like, I don't know what to do right now. And it really was like, it wasn't a dramatic car accident. But I've never been in an accident before. So like perfect day for this to happen.
Whereas I nearly died in car accidents.
Yeah. First car accident. And I'm going to take the biggest test I've ever taken in my life.
Yeah.
And
timing.
Got out of the car and this little old lady walks out and I was like, and she's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, oh, I'm not hurt. I'm just really stressed out. I have a test to go take. And
she probably still tells this story. And this lady, she probably is like, you remember that time?
Oh, well, you know what? She can because I tried to be nice. Again, remember the beginning of this? I said I worked in insurance. I worked in insurance. This lady hit me. I was like, let me get your insurance information, but also let me get your phone number because I'm a nice person and I don't want your insurance rates to go up. If I need to fix something on my car, I'll reach out to you directly. And if you want to pay me, you can pay me. And I reached out to her like 2 days later and she literally texted me back and was like, I didn't cause any damage to your car. And I was like, I sent you the pictures. And she's like, there's no way that I did that. You rear-ended my car. Anyway, I filed a claim on her insurance and she's probably still paying for that. So anyway, I was hyperventilating. There was literally another person who had witnessed the accident who like came over and was like,
so you got a testimony.
Like, I mean, no, it's just a rear end. You don't need all that. I didn't even call the police, but I had to call my dad first to make sure that I didn't have to call the police, even though I worked in insurance and I know I don't need to call the police when it's rear end. But I was like, I have to call the police. I'm going to miss my test. I had to call the testing center, hyperventilating, crying still. I'm not joking when I say this. Like, I'm crying this much this whole time. This is how much this one thing threw my whole day off. And called the testing center because it says when you like sign up for the testing, it's like, do not be late. If you're late, you will not be let in. And I'm like, also don't wear earrings. And I'm like, this is a weird restriction that you guys have going on here.
Because people That's how they get the chat GPT
Mm.
in their ears.
So it
That
was
didn't exist at the time.
no,
Wow.
but it was very stressful. And I called the testing center crying, and the guy on the phone was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm okay, I think, but like I just might be late." And he was like, "That's fine. If you have a valid reason to be late, it's okay. Just get here safely." Um,
Imagine them being like, "Oh, you got in a car accident? That
Wah.
sucks."
We don't care. Get here in time. Meh. No, but there was another man at the scene of the crime
See,
who like came out as like a nice civilian and didn't know what to do, and like he spoke broken English, and he
oh
was like,
dear.
is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm fine. I just have a test."
He just saw this crazy white lady.
And he was like,
Don't touch
it's
me.
okay."
You don't.
That's how I felt about this man I didn't know. And he like put his hand on me and was like, "It's okay."
Even if I was in shambles, if somebody
I
came up
was
and
like,
touched me, it would snap me out of it.
I was like, "Okay." And he was like, do you guys need me here?" And I was like, "No, I don't need you here."
What a good person.
I passed that test also, first time. I
Allegedly.
don't even know what score I got on it, but it was one of those ones where it was on the computer and then they gave you your results. Like, did I get them immediately? Yeah, they gave you the results like immediately. So you press like complete and then be like boop, 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 and then give you your
Which is
results.
almost, I don't know that I would say it's more stressful, but it's like, it's a different kind of anxiety.
Yeah. It's like the second you hit that button, like that's it. I'd rather just like bubble in some letters or something.
And then have, ruminating thoughts afterwards
Yeah.
for a day.
No, I'm glad that I got those results immediately because if I had to wait, I would have been a wreck
She would have been in a bad way.
in a bad way. And you're like, "And I got in an accident for this."
That
Yeah,
was a story.
it was a story.
I told you she had stories.
That was my little baby Jetta, who is no longer with us.
No. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. I mean, she might be alive with somebody else.
I was explaining how I even got the job. That's what I was talking about.
Tell your story.
While you're in the corner. So what I was saying was that had I not, um, what was I saying? No, I was explaining the situation, right? So day to day, we would have the like theory conversations, like the lectures, whatever you want to call them. And we would all kind of like hang out and listen to her, go through the slides, so on and so forth. And then we would break for lunch, and then people would go to like the cafeteria, which is basically what it was.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of high school in a very unsettling way.
I never ate in it.
Oh, and I didn't either. That's the thing. And you, it's weird because like if you were like 2 minutes late, like you had to go to the front and get like a special pass
It was such
in
a
like everything.
thing.
So the first day, literally my first day, I was late. And I was like, well, it's my first day. Like, I'm not going to be in trouble for being late.
Mhm.
I was right. I didn't get in trouble for being late. But you best believe that they said the first day, if you're late, that's bad. Like, very, very bad. Like, you cannot be late.
I was 3 minutes late one day. 3 minutes.
Devil child.
Walked into the building. Literally nobody standing anywhere apart from the person that's like, "Come here." And I'm like, "Oh my God." And then I had to go into the classroom with my late slip and give it
Mhm.
to Miss Lisa. And Miss Lisa was like, "Oh, Jade, this isn't like you." And I was like, I was 3 minutes late.
I remember I had a Miss Lisa moment, and she was like, Connor. And it was not because I was late. We can talk about that another day. But anyway, speaking of Miss Lisa, because it was so packed with like, it's so packed with information. We say like you don't like learn very much, but like, I mean, you do learn, or you have the opportunity to learn quite a bit,
Yeah.
particularly if you're somebody that's completely new to the industry. By the time, like, I feel like most of the skincare knowledge that I already had when I went in there. because I was at that point, like, I had spent, like, more than 2 years at that point,
Mm,
like, really, like, researching skin, consuming a lot of content from a lot of different kinds of people. So not just estheticians, but dermatologists, cosmetic formulators.
mhm.
Like, I mean, without bragging, I knew more about skin than anybody else in my class.
He's so braggy.
I'm so braggy.
Me.
But that did not mean in part, that was actually the reason why I had that problem with the question. The question that, like, for whatever reason, I just could not I could not answer correctly
Mhm.
because I knew that that was not true. The suggestion that, people that have darker skin tones have more melanocytes. But anyway, because as we discussed, I'm the kind of person, like, if I had missed, like, one question on that exam, it would have eaten me alive. And so I took every opportunity to study, to do we had a workbook. You
Mhm.
had a workbook. So there was the reading, but then there was the workbook, and then you had to complete the workbook, submit the completed workbook. It was like a whole thing. A
Mhm.
lot of it was, frankly, it was not busy work, but like clearly meant to help you like just memorize a lot of this stuff because
Yeah.
that's what the schooling was for, right? Like just drill in some key concepts and then you're good to go. And because I'm really weird, like, when I'm, like, writing things with pencil, like, if my handwriting looks weird, like, I erase it and then I do it again.
He's completely normal.
Yes. Anyway, I often felt a little behind with my workbook, if
What
I'm being honest.
did we have to use pencils?
I don't know.
Why didn't you just use a pen?
I mean, I feel that way with a pen and a pencil because a pen is more permanent, I can't erase that.
Hmm.
Anyway, the point being that everybody had left the classroom to go to lunch, and I was sitting there by myself in the room.
Writing the same thing and then erasing it and then rewriting it.
Probably. And I was just in my little corner because like like how you like the treatment table, like you
Mhm.
get assigned a treatment table and
Mhm.
like that's your table. And
Mhm.
Miss Lisa, bless her heart, is like, I'm gonna teach you how to run a business because this is a business.
Mhm.
And you had to come up with a name for your table, like your own little like
Oh, we didn't have to do
oh
that.
yeah, no, she was like, you need to come up with a name for your business because a lot of estheticians will when they graduate, I don't recommend it, they'll start out on their own
Yeah.
and get like a room at like a
Like a salon
salon
suites or
suites
something.
or
Yeah.
whatever those are.
Mhm.
And so you have to name your business. And so we had to name our business. We had to come up with a logo and like we had to put it like in this little like thing and we would hang it up there
We
so
did
that
not have that.
yeah, it was like it was adorable. It was absolutely adorable.
Yet one other
Um
thing you non-COVID schoolgoers got.
Listen. But anyway, I was in my little section and it was in a corner and she was sitting at the desk and I'm just sitting here like doing my thing, probably writing the same thing and erasing it and writing it again. And she is like, "So," and I'm like, "Hmm?" And she's like, "How are you liking the class?" And I said, "Oh, it's nice." I didn't really know what to say. I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah.
Um, and I think either she asked me or like asked me directly or we somehow got on the topic, but she was kind of like, "What do you want to do?" Right? Like, because frankly, there were a lot of women in there that, I mean, I say there were a lot of women. I was the only man aside from one other person. And I'm pretty sure that to this day, there has not been another male student in her class
Mm.
since I graduated.
She's not like a very male heavy
No, no, absolutely not.
career path.
I was surprised that there was another man in the
Yeah.
same class, but I don't even know where that came up. Why did I say that?
This is what happens.
Anyway,
We need to just we need to just chug along and stick on the path.
but this is good stuff.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
this is the real thing.
You're
She
just so funny.
asked me how the class was. I said, it is what it is, blah blah blah. Like it's been nice, it's been fun. I did actually really enjoy it. I mean, she did a really great job of I didn't enjoy the practical, if I'm being honest. In part because I had to like let other people touch me. And that's the thing, I don't enjoy that. But anyway, the rest of it I really did like. I liked the days like we were just going through the different chapters. We'd do like the popcorn reading. Like
Yeah.
people would like have to read.
I hate that. I hate
Oh, I
popcorn
love
reading. I
that.
hate reading in front of people because I like stutter and stumble over my
Mhm.
words and it makes me so anxious.
It's one thing that I do not struggle with, and so I did enjoy that.
He struggles
Um,
with many other things though, don't worry.
as we just discussed, writing and rewriting things over and over again for no reason, because nobody other than me and my teacher is going to see it. But I couldn't have her thinking I had messy handwriting.
Heaven forbid.
Um, and she was asking me how the class was, and I, back to the original thing.
I lost the plot again. I was like,
I'm glad I
where's
could.
this story going?
I brought us back. I brought us back. And I said, it's really great. And she somehow was like, like, what do you want to do? Oh, no, I remember. I remember now why I said the thing about the men being in the class, because there were so many, it was just women. And then
Yeah.
there's one other guy and me.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of them, they only came to take this class because they knew that they needed the aesthetics license in order to legally do lashes.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people were already doing lashes, but we're not going to talk about
Oh
that.
yeah. There was people in my class doing lashes.
Illegal.
Yeah.
Um, although I feel like most people doing lashes in Florida are probably doing it illegally.
If they're doing
Illegally,
it
but like,
yeah, like if they're doing it from their home, probably. It's
I mean, if you're
very,
if you're
very
doing anything from your home, it's
yeah.
probably technically illegal because
It
there's a lot of very specific.
yeah, it's really hard to like work from home
Like you
with
have to have like a
this
separate
industry.
entrance, a separate
Yeah.
bathroom. There's like a
Yeah.
wall dividing this. Like it's like a whole thing.
It's a thing, yeah.
But anyway, um, I did not want to do lashes. Let's just make that
I
clear.
thought I did at first.
Really?
Yeah.
That
So
sounds
weird.
like it sounds like
Oh yeah, no.
torture.
I thought I wanted to, and then I started school. It wasn't like the main reason I went to school. I went to school thinking I want to do something in this industry. I might be interested in lashes. I also thought I wanted to do permanent makeup,
Mm.
like brows.
That I would rather do that than do
100%.
lashes.
But I was like, maybe I could do them both together, just whatever. And then I was in class one day, and one of the girls, 19-year-olds, that was illegally doing lashes on the side.
Mhm.
Also,
As
like,
you do.
we don't care. Like, you're probably doing a great job. And as
It's
long as you're like being clean about it, but
some of the best lash artists, I'm sure, are doing it
I'm
illegally.
sure very talented people.
And I'm not here to say you can't
We
do
don't
that.
care if you're legal or not in many different ways.
Yes.
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 That's it. Stop talking. Anyway, I was watching her do lashes and
Uh-huh.
I saw how like,
Oh my God.
and I was like, you know what?
No.
Immediately lost interest.
No.
Continue your story.
She asked me what I wanted to do, and I knew going into aesthetic school, I don't care about facials. I've
Yeah.
never cared about facials in terms of giving them at least. I mean,
Or kidding.
well, before I was an esthetician, I did actually have a couple facials. But even then, like I enjoyed them for what they were supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
doing for me,
Yeah.
not as like a relaxing service. Definitely not. Because oh my gosh, my mom paid for me to get a facial from this woman she knew. This woman, I went in there. She wasn't wearing shoes. She was barefoot. And then we're in service and she's like, applying these products. And I'm like, what is that you're applying? Because it was like tingling.
Mm.
And she was like, oh, this? She said, so when I hike, I harvest XYZ and then I use it to make this. And I was sitting there because at this point, I already knew enough about skincare to know that one, something that is not like, formulated with preservatives, for example, is potentially contaminated.
Yeah.
And two, that natural definitely does not automatically mean better, but also potentially means more likely to irritate
Yeah.
because it's more allergenic. There's a greater risk of things like one of my favorite words, phytophotodermatitis. People putting on essential oils and going out in the sun are not going to be very happy with themselves. They might not know why, and they'll probably just put more essential oils on whatever happens.
Essential
But,
oils fix everything, Connor.
of course, you're just detoxing. That's what you're
Yeah.
doing. And I just remember sitting there thinking, this is how I'm going to die. And then after the facial, she was just like talking to me. She was chatting me up, and I was like, yeah, like
Chatting
my
you up.
friend and I have just been having like a lot of difficulties. And she's like, sounds like a twin flame situation. And I'm like, what is that? And she starts to, very odd situation, to put it lightly. Anyway, facials are not what I wanted to do. And I knew going into
Connor
school,
also doesn't wear shoes at work though.
that is a bald faced. It's bald faced, right?
I say bold.
It's bold faced. That's a bold faced
Bald
lie.
face sounds
It
weird.
does. Now I'm like doubting
Makes me think of
myself.
like Mr. Clean.
Love me a magic
I was gonna
eraser.
say we love a magic eraser.
Um,
And the Mr. Clean all-purpose spray that smells like
Old Lady Lavender.
no.
I
I'm
like that
sure and
one.
I'm sure that smells good too,
It
but
does.
it's I don't know, it smell there's this like Febreze flings smell or
Mm.
something.
No, the one I have is lavender.
I love lavender.
Anyway, I was only interested in doing things like chemical peels, microneedling. I knew that you had to get additional certification to do laser, but I was interested in doing laser. All the medical stuff. So very procedural, very results driven, not very interested in like a luxurious or relaxing service. Not to say that there's not any value in that. It just was not what I wanted to spend my time figuring out how to do. And I told her that. I was like, I mean, I am really interested in the medical side, the more like results driven side, building routines. I knew because of the things that I was interested in that I was more interested in working in an office that had a doctor on staff.
Yeah.
And I explained all this to her, and she said, I think I have a place for you.
Of course she
Lo
did.
and behold, and she asked me to prepare a resume, like an updated resume. She gave me this like template that she thinks has like magical powers, and it very well may because I didn't not get the job. But anyway, I sent the completed resume following her template to her, thinking that she was gonna like have a conversation with me about like, oh yeah, like this looks good, but like let's tweak this, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
My response or the response that I got from her to me sending that resume was, yes, I've sent it. And I said, oh, well, it's a good thing that I, similar to how I was with the workbook, looked at that 20,000 times to ensure that there were no typos or anything else. Um, and
Oh,
then
I mean, I don't think anybody would have noticed if there was type.
they probably would not, but alas, I nevertheless will worry about these things. And then I got the interview, went, and I have since learned that I was over enthusiastic and tried too hard because
Which just
I really did want that job
it
because
tracks. We
what do you mean?
it tracks. It's just who you are.
What?
When you want something like that, you're like, oh, I have to make sure that I'm like I have to make sure I sound smart, you know? Like
Yes, have to make sure. Because heaven forbid they don't think that I sound smart. But I knew, so different than you, I did know that, and at that point, I mean, part of the reason why you probably agreed to do the interview was because at that point you had learned that it's not uncommon for aesthetics practitioners to start at the front desk and then like you just gradually
mhm.
begin taking on clients. And so I knew that. Like I had expected to be working the front desk as a first job out of school. So the fact that it was technically a receptionist position, it wasn't really like a problem for me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I had a job in the industry.
Yeah.
And I got the job and started working there while I was in school. So, and I was still working
At Starbucks.
part-time, yeah, as
Yeah.
a barista. And so when I was in school, and I also did school full time. I would finish like it was like 3:30 or something like that.
Mhm.
I would finish that, change out of my scrubs, and then go to either Starbucks or go to the spa.
Mm.
And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I would work either at the spa. I was working at the spa on Saturdays,
Yeah.
and I would work at Starbucks on Sundays. So I was working or going to school every single day. Did not have a day off. That was also the case prior to me starting school because I was working two jobs and only had a day off if I requested a day off.
This also all tracks if you know Connor.
I'm crazy.
Even when he's at work or he's working on his side business. Your
side
mommy
business.
texted you.
She did. My esthetician mother, who prefers beef tallow to sunscreen.
There is a beef tallow sunscreen now. It's all over TikTok.
Yeah, she uses it. And speaking of that beef tallow sunscreen, I don't recall her name or her username offhand, but she is a cosmetic chemist and she's on Instagram.
Hmm.
And she took that sunscreen because she was like, people keep talking about this sunscreen, this beef tallow sunscreen. I think it's called like Sun and Soul or something,
Yeah, I don't
something
know.
like
I
that.
have
It
no
looks
clue.
very natural.
Is it the same one that I'm seeing that like it looks like it comes in like a like spray bottle, like you know those bottles that people have at like the farmers market of their like at home beauty products that they made. It's just this like it looks like a
A
bottle like
spray bottle?
yeah, that's please hold because I'm sure I can easily find the one that I have seen. It's in TikTok shop. This is the one that is like all over my
Oh
TikTok.
no, that's not the one that she was using. But the one that she was using, which I think was popular probably before that, because this was like half a year ago,
Yeah.
um, is like it is advertised as an SPF 50, 40 or 50, something very high.
Mhm.
And as we talked about in our first episode, when you have a sunscreen that uses zinc oxide as its primary filter, getting an SPF 40 or 50 is very challenging. Not because it can't be done, but because by the time you get that high protection, nobody wants to use the product because you're just adding more and more insoluble like powder basically into this product. So it gets more pasty, it gets more white, it gets more awful. And this one is neither pasty nor uncomfortable, but it's allegedly SPF 40 or 50 or something.
Mhm.
This cosmetic chemist was like, this doesn't make any sense. Because she looked at the ingredient list and she was like, there's no way. There's no way. Because if it was SPF whatever they were advertising, it would not look or feel the way that it did.
Yeah.
And she did tests on it. And the tests confirmed that it was in fact meeting the SPF that it was advertising.
But do you have to
And
use a
she,
bunch of it?
huh?
Do you have to like use more of it for it
Well,
to
she used the standard amount.
Oh,
So she used the standardized amount, which
mhm.
is what would have been used during those testing, during the testing. And she was like, okay, yes. So based on this, there are ingredients in here that they're not disclosing. And so it had to have had like some chemical sunscreen boosters or
Yeah.
full on chemical sunscreen filters. A lot of mineral sunscreens, including one that I really, really like, the Isden Mineral Fusion
That's like
Body.
people love the Isden
Oh my gosh,
sunscreen.
Isden, expensive, but very high quality products. They have a body SPF, which I would happily use on the face, but that's also because I don't care about a white cast if
Mm.
I'm at the beach, for example. Water resistant mineral sunscreen. My mom bought the sunscreen thinking it was a mineral sunscreen. It has chemical sunscreen boosters. Butyl octyl salicylate, I believe is what it is. It's very commonly used in a lot of mineral formulas to augment the SPF without adding to the white cast. It's depending upon how you look at it, it's technically a hybrid sunscreen.
I think
It's
my only concern is like if is it just being like shown as a mineral like just a mineral sunscreen? The only reason I care is because of my eyes.
no, and that's the thing is that it's advertised as a mineral sunscreen
Mhm.
and technically it is a mineral sunscreen because the only active ingredients that they're claiming
Mhm.
are mineral filters, but you get a higher SPF than you would with a more traditional formula using the same
Yeah.
concentration of mineral UV filters because you have these,
Yeah.
boosters.
But is it like so minimal that like it wouldn't cause irritation?
It's always very personal. So
Yeah.
like for one person that particular ingredient might, because it's not, that's the other thing too, is that it's not technically considered like a standalone chemical UV filter.
Yeah.
It's like, because technically you can boost your sunscreen, like your SPF rating, if I'm remembering correctly. You can technically boost the rated SPF by using ingredients that do not actually add to the sun protection, but they're skin soothing. Because the way that you test for SPF is by monitoring skin, actual human skin, for reddening or erythema in response to controlled doses of ultraviolet radiation. So if you can use an ingredient that basically just like helps to minimize the inflammation, it'll take more UV to get to the redness that you would expect. And so you get a higher SPF, but it's not because it's actually protecting you from more UV. It's because it's controlling some of the skin's response to that UV. So butylactosalicylate, though, I'm pretty sure is an additive that does actually boost the SPF. It's not achieving that by reducing skin irritation. But I mean, I didn't bother using it on my face. I used it on my neck and like
Hmm.
body and stuff. Because like for some reason on the neck, I just don't give a shit. I really don't. But fantastic sunscreen. Absolutely fantastic sunscreen. I would highly recommend it. The value you get like 8 ounces. It's insane. And it's lightweight. It's water resistant, spreads really easily. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Um, I was talking about how I got this job and I don't know where we got onto the sunscreen. Oh, because my mom texted me. Oh,
Oh my
Shannon.
God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are we?
I don't, we've lost ourselves again.
Hopefully by now you have a sense of who we are and the kinds of people.
And how we can't have a single conversation.
No.
All have to have branches.
So now we fought. We fought.
We fought.
Yeah, I am British and I don't believe in TH.
Hey, I'm British.
She's not,
My dad is.
but she's not,
I lived there.
but she's not.
On paper, I am.
Allegedly. She doesn't even know when she got licensed.
Don't do this to me. I think it was 2021.
Okay, so now we'll transition into the skincare ride or dies. So let's keep it very simple, very structured,
Okay, let me just yawn for a minute because I'm having a moment.
very straightforward. We can just say what our AM and PM skincare routines are.
Okay.
Okay, let's get comfy. Okay. So, Jade,
Yes,
alleged esthetician,
the one and only.
potential laser specialist, perhaps electrologist. What is your AM skincare routine?
So I cleanse with the sensitive skin cleanser,
From
Sanitas.
they don't know what you're talking
You're
about.
right.
You can't
They don't.
assume.
Sanitas sensitive skin cleanser. And then my skincare routine is a little bit manic in the mornings because
So is mine.
it's a lot to get me to actually do it. So I try to make it very minimal. I have been doing the sensitive skin cleanser from Sanitas, the prequel, what's the serum that Chrissy got us?
The hydrating one,
Yeah,
multi quench,
the prequel multi quench and the Naturium Super C serum,
vitamin C super serum plus
vitamin C Super Serum Plus
with a black label
yes, and then and I have my azelaic acid
from
from it's
Dermatica.
Dermatica. Yeah, I haven't started the
So you're
Naturium
using
ones
the
yet.
20%?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I still have some of that. My antioxidant moisturizer
From
and
Sanitas.
from Sanitas. Sorry, my Sanitas antioxidant moisturizer.
She thinks that you're that close. Like
We're friends. We're
we
buddies.
are, you know us
You know us.
and you know you've been there for the AM
We're
routine.
your pals. Sanita's antioxidant moisturizer and then the Naturium Dew Glow tinted in shade medium, I think. That's my AM right now.
Okay. My AM routine.
Oh, no, hold on. Sorry.
She's so selfish.
Back up. I also have the Barrier Bounce.
Use it in the morning?
I use it for the day, yeah, because it like just gives you such a good glow. It is like my skin is 10 times glowier when I use that.
I'm sure that it is.
Yeah.
I would not recommend doing that
Why?
because the reason that it gives you the glow is because it has squalane and it also hydrates the skin. But I shy away from oil heavy. I mean, I put that in air quotes because products can have oils in them, like, whatever. Like your moisturizer, antioxidant moisturizer, like that has oils in it. But I shy away from oil, like standalone skincare oils, so like a straight squalane
Mm.
oil or any of the others that people might use, or oil heavy or oil leaning products. I would consider the barrier balance one of those because what is the best way to remove your sunscreen at the end of the day?
Well, yeah, but
So this is a theoretical thing. People don't test this. It hasn't been like, shown in a lab. But my thought and the thought of certain individuals is that if you have oils on the skin or if you're using oil rich products, then you're potentially disrupting the ability of your sunscreen to form a film over the skin, which is part of how it protects you by forming a cohesive film across the surface of the skin. So by having more oil than you need, you're theoretically impacting the ability of the sunscreen to form a cohesive film and therefore increasing the likelihood that you're getting more UV than you think you are. That is not a guarantee. I could be completely wrong. But also,
that's very possible. But for
you have
me,
to sit.
it's just not that deep. And I love the barrier mounts with that glow during the day.
So
So,
how do you, because I'm still getting used to the barrier balance and like how to use it.
mhm.
Where do you put it in your routine?
I put it after my serums, before my moisturizer,
Interesting.
because it dries down to a little bit of a tackiness. So instead of that being my top layer, I like my moisturizer over it and then my sunscreen.
Do you pat it in?
No,
Interesting.
but I put it on when my skin's like mostly dry.
So that's the difference, which makes sense because like when I use it, my skin and my hands are still a
Mhm.
little damp
Yeah.
and it like almost like it'll like catch.
Yeah, I mean it's got a little bit of that like tackiness, so
Yeah.
but if you
But if
I
my hands were completely dry, I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem.
yeah, and like it also like warms up in your hands a
Hmm.
little bit. So,
And then like once I've put it on my face, then it kind of like now I
yeah.
can like work it in.
Mm,
But it's interesting.
yeah.
Very interesting
It
product.
is. I really enjoy it.
I'm getting to know it.
It's a really good if you need like a base under for your skincare under your makeup and you don't want to layer multiple serums because you really don't want to do that under your makeup anyway. It's a really good option for that
For like that hydration,
and the glow.
the glow. Um, I also cleanse in the morning. Some people do not. Um, I have lately been using also the Sanitas Sensitive Skin Cleanser. I think it's a really great go-to. I've also just been feeling like my skin is more sensitive lately.
Hmm. You've been you did a lot.
I did a lot and have done a lot and
Yeah.
do a lot.
Yeah.
So it would not be surprising if my skin
No.
was sensitized. Like subclinical, like irritation, like
Hmm.
it really only manifests like under the right conditions kind of thing. Like my skin feels fine right now.
Mm,
But if you were to do something if I were to do something that like maybe normally would be totally fine,
mm,
I would not want to do a peel or anything right now.
yeah.
I feel like my skin would not like that. Which is kind of fine with me because I'm pushing my skin to I think finding the active ingredients that you want to use that work well for you, that are doing what you want and what you want skincare to do for your skin, and then maxing that out is basically because I just made a video about how like what is the value of a facial
Yeah.
basically. And I kind of said it's almost like I am disincentivized when it comes to a facial because I'd have to go off of so many of these things
Yeah.
that are doing more for my skin than the facial will, depending upon the situation. For me, that's true. It might not be true for, certain other people, depending upon what you're using. But anyway, I because my skin has felt a little bit like it's being pushed.
Mhm.
I am using the Sanitas Sensitive Skin Cleanser. And if we're imagining that I'm not in a rush, which I often am, but if we imagine I'm not in a rush, like my ideal morning routine at this moment would be Sanitas Sensitive Skin Cleanser, Sanitas Moisture Mist, Naturium Vitamin C Complex, no, not complex, Vitamin C Super Serum Plus with the black label,
With the black label?
black label, Dermatica 20% azelaic acid clarifying, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Right now, though, I'm actually using the new product from Face Reality, their Glow Tone Corrective Serum, which
Mhm.
is basically an azelaic acid serum with a bunch of other hyperpigmentation focused ingredients. I've been testing that out, been really liking it.
Oh.
Although it has a very different texture and feel to most of the azelaic acid products I've
Hmm.
used in the past.
Is it,
It's
like, thinner?
much thinner, and so you have to layer it differently.
Yeah.
Usually, my azelaic acid would be, like, the final thing prior to moisturizer.
Yeah.
Depending upon the routine, that's not always the case with the Face Reality product, but right now I'm using that, and so while it is very thin, I feel like the Vitamin C Super Serum Plus is still very much a water-based serum. It's more plush feeling
Yeah.
than the Glow Tone, but it is ultimately water-based, and so I'll put that on underneath and then layer the Glow Tone on top,
Mhm.
and then I'll go in with the Up and Up
Oh my
generic.
gosh.
They don't even sell this anymore, which is such a tragedy. It was like $4 and you would get like 16 ounces of lotion.
Yeah.
It was like a Vaseline brand dupe.
Mhm.
I love this lotion. It is it's like so nice. Um but I did buy the new Up and Up lotion. I'm very excited to try that. It has ceramides.
Ooh.
Um Very interesting ingredient list actually. So I'm very much looking forward to giving that a go. But that, and then if I'm feeling extra dry, I will layer on a pump of the Vanicream moisturizing cream, which I'm known to do. Like I double moisturize a lot,
Yeah.
and I'll typically take a very lightweight lotion, like the Up and Up version of this Vaseline product, and then layer on. It's always the second one is always the Vaseline moisturizing cream. Vaseline, no, Vanicream moisturizing
Cream.
cream. That is my like sealant until the day I die. Absolutely love that product.
That's the one in the, like,
The tub,
oh, the one in the
the
tub is,
tub,
yeah, okay, yeah, that's the one I use at night.
and then I'll let that fully dry down. My sunscreen situation is very complicated.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. What I've been leaning towards for my neck is the Black Girl Sunscreen Kids SPF 50. I actually shy away from that a little bit for my face just because it is so glowy.
Mhm. You can't be too glowy
Like
in
at
it.
the end of the day, I think is the only time when I have a problem with it. It is more oily, so to speak. I love the way it makes my face look. Like when I wear that sunscreen, guaranteed someone is going to say something to me about the way my face looks, which is fine by me. But on a normal day-to-day basis, like if I don't want to have to deal with the fact that like by the
Yeah.
end of the day, I feel like my skin is kind of like drenched.
Yeah.
And I consider myself combination, but like if we're reaching toward the end of the day, I'm gonna feel oily. So for a portion of the day, that is a concern. And so this product is not ideal.
Yeah.
If we're at the beach, for example, I don't really care. I'm just gonna use what I like. But on a day-to-day basis, it's not ideal for use in Florida. Now, if you were somebody that was living like in Indiana, where I used
Mhm.
to live, that would probably be fine during the summer because even during the summer, you're not getting super hot, you're not sweating. Like it's just a different situation and is a very moisturizing sunscreen product.
Mhm.
So that would be a different situation altogether. But use that on my neck because, you know, I don't really touch my neck during the day.
Yeah.
My neck is very textured.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
I mean,
It's very
it's been
weird.
a thing that you've talked about, and
You can see it though.
yeah.
It's very weird. I need to have it lasered off.
Well, Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. So it just works on the neck. And then for the face, I've actually been using the tinted SPF 40 from the spa,
Yeah.
which is a not the new one, the old
The old
one.
one. I didn't mind the old one.
I don't hate it,
Yeah.
but it's not my favorite. The color is a bit too dark for me, but it's not so dark that like it looks completely, ridiculous. But it's very matte. Don't love
Mhm.
a matte sunscreen.
Yeah, that's the only thing I
Um,
didn't like about it.
but I've been using that just because I want to use it up. So tinted SPF 40, that's mineral. And then on my ears, I have been using the Naturium UV Reflect
Mm,
SPF 50 because
yeah.
it is water resistant and it has a dry, like a demi matte finish. It's
Mhm.
not like the Dew Glow is very dewy,
Yeah.
whereas the UV Reflect is very like a natural finish. Like it
Yes.
doesn't feel slippy. It
No.
doesn't, it's very natural. And I often wear my AirPods Pro, and I have noticed if I use like the Black Girl sunscreen in my on my ears,
Mhm.
it like doesn't it like kind of like moves around more. These are the things I'm thinking about. So I have been loving the UV Reflect for the ears. I actually don't love it for the face or for the neck. I think it's a fantastic product. I really believe in the protection that it's advertising, but it dries down so quickly
Yeah.
that you feel like you have to use more and more and
It's
more
definitely, like, awkward
to
to
get a
use.
very, like, full coverage application, and so for that reason, I actually don't love it for the face and neck. I probably won't repurchase it, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest, because I could be getting a full application, but I don't feel like I am.
Yeah.
Again, I really believe in the formula. I think it's a really robust product, but the way that it ultimately applies does leave me feeling like I have to go in with a second layer or sometimes a third layer. It just depends, like how much you're using each time you apply it, because it really does sink into the skin so quickly. And if that's what you want, that
Yeah.
you're gonna love that product. But I really like to feel like I can spread my sunscreen all over and then like just stop touching it and like let it fully dry down. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like a sunscreen that almost feels like an oil in the sense that I can spread it that easily
Yeah.
and then let it fully dry down and then it doesn't feel very oily after it's dried down. That's the ideal for me.
Yeah.
That sunscreen does not do that, which might be great for some people, not so much for me because I get very in my head about it.
Yeah.
PM skincare routine.
It's very also not very complex right now because I'm running low on most of my products, and
Someone needs to go
I
shopping.
do need to go shopping. I also recently acquired a car payment, so, and it's summer,
It's summer.
so we're slowing down on buying things, but I use the Prequel.
Pre-cleanse.
Yeah, is that what
Yeah.
it's called? The oil
Mhm.
one? Yeah, I use the Pre-Cleanse. And then depending on like what night it is, I usually just do a second cleanse with the Sanita sensitive skin cleanser again, or I do the Sanita's vitamin C lactic cleanser,
Love that.
but I'm not going to use that every night.
No.
Sometimes I throw it in the mix. And then what am I doing right now? The Prequel multi quench. Is that what we determined
The
the
one in
name
the blue
was?
bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I do that at night too. I use the Naturium multi-peptide serum. Is that the silver
Mhm.
bottle? I'm running low on that.
I liked
I
that.
have to buy that again because I actually really like it.
Took some getting used to,
Yeah,
but I really like it.
no, I like it a lot. Um, do I do anything in between that? I don't think so. I use that. This is feeling too simple, like what I'm about to say, but it really might be this simple right now because I like barely have any products. But sometimes I do the barrier bounce at night
Mhm.
too.
I only use
N
it at night.
Yeah, not every night, but sometimes I do use it at night also. And then the azelaic acid, and
So you
then
do that twice daily?
yeah.
Okay.
You told me to work up to it one time, and then I did, and so I just never stopped using
Well,
it twice a
because you're not
day.
I assume you're not going to say that you're using a retinoid at night.
No, no,
So
not
because she's not using a
yeah,
retinoid,
that's why
she can
yes.
do that.
Yeah,
I am going to use a retinoid,
yeah.
so I don't do azelaic acid
Not
twice a day.
currently using a retinoid, we're gonna get there.
Working on it.
We're working on it. I just need to suck it up and do it. And then the Vanicream in the tub or my antioxidant Sanita's moisturizer, but 90% of the time I do the Vanicream at night because it's thicker.
And cheaper. I My first cleanse has been the Dermalogica pre-cleanse, which I
Mhm.
got at
Yeah.
Premiere, which we talked about in the last video or last episode, whatever this is. Um, and then I've been following that with either the Sanitas Sensitive Skin Cleanser or because I'm just trying to get through it, the Walgreens version of the CeraVe Cream to Foam Cleanser.
Okay.
Not comparable. Absolutely not comparable. The Walgreens cleanser is fantastic. It's like a gel cream, whereas the CeraVe really is a cream, and
Mm.
it's kind of runny too.
Yeah.
So I used to use, and will go back to using probably well, I have another pre-cleanse option that I'm really excited to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about in today's video or episode, whatever this is. But the CeraVe Cream to Foam Cleanser works very well on dry skin as a first cleanse because it is a little bit runny and because it is a true cream cleanser until you add the water, but then it emulsifies really, really effectively. And so I mean, I think it really is like the best of both worlds. I mean, I think
Mhm.
it's a fantastic product. The cream to foam cleanser from CeraVe is something that I continue to recommend. But the Walgreens version has ceramides. It has a cream component to it, but it is much more a gel cleanser, in my opinion, than a cream cleanser.
Mhm.
Because I think that they were trying to do something that they weren't really prepared to do. So a fine product does not work as a first cleanse. Absolutely not, but I do like it as a second cleanse. So it's either the Walgreens version of the cream to foam cleanser from CeraVe or the Sanita Sensitive Skin Cleanser. And then afterwards, probably again the Moisture Mist from Sanitas,
Mm.
just because I have it. If I don't have it, then you just remove that. And then I'll go in with the Prequel Multi Quench. So
Mhm.
not the antioxidant product that we have with the Naturium Vitamin C Super Serum Plus, because using that twice daily with the other things that are going to follow probably would be too much. I've said it before, when I'm using the Vitamin C Super Serum Plus from Naturium relative to the Vitamin C Complex Serum from
Mhm.
them, the one that is not with the black label, my skin definitely feels like it's being pushed a little further. And I attribute that to the fact that the super serum has more actives, one of which is
Mhm.
retinol. It's a fantastic product, but you just have to be a little bit more mindful. It's not as gentle as the vitamin C complex serum. So I'll go in with the multi quench and then I'll follow with anti-age, step one and step
Yes.
two.
That would also be in my routine if I had any left, but I don't, so here we are.
I use Anti-Age MD Serum Step 1 and Accelerator Step 2. And then I will go in with my retinoid, which is either, I guess I should clarify, all of the things that I've said so far are going on face and neck. But then my retinoid, because I've tried prescription strength products on my neck for a number of years now, and it's always like led to a little bit of like not like an outright problem, but like I could feel like my skin's being pushed a little bit too far. I decided to just like screw it. And I've been using the Naturium retinaldehyde cream serum 0.05% on my neck, one pump of that. And then on my face, it's either 0.1% adapalene gel. I get the generic, or you could do the different gel, or 0.05% tretinoin from Obagi. So I alternate those two. So depending upon what night it is. So it's one and then the next night would be the other, but the retinaldehyde on the neck stays the same. and then I would follow that with the anti-age eye cream, which I probably won't repurchase.
I do like it.
I like it, but what I don't like actually is using an eye cream.
Yeah.
Not even really because it's like, well, do you need an eye cream? Do you not need an eye cream? Literally just because it's another step.
Yeah,
Like sometimes
I just
I
you saying that made me realize I have the anti-age eye cream in my bathroom, but I keep forgetting to use it
I forgot to
because
use it for like 3 months.
yeah, because I just like
I don't think to do it because I bring everything
I
else
bring
around
everything
my
up
eyes.
and then just the thought of having to put another thing on is like,
Another thing.
yeah.
And even when you're a professional, sometimes it gets to be too much.
Yeah.
So, but because I'm trying to just get through it, I will follow the retinoid with the anti-age eye cream. And I specifically do the retinoid before the eye cream because I treat the eye cream as the eye moisturizer. An eye cream, unless it's a very unique formulation, I think should always go on.
Yeah.
Basically, the last thing before your moisturizer,
That's what I do.
because it's the moisturizer for your eyes.
Yeah.
So
It's not like it's a serum or like
no, yeah.
tacky or
But
anything.
that's the thing. There are eye
Yeah,
serums. So
yeah.
then it would be a different conversation. But if it was an eye cream, which
Yeah.
is what this is, then I think placing that immediately before your actual moisturizer makes the most sense. What I've been doing sometimes, though, after the anti-age 1 and 2, this is a new cult favorite for me, and I'm obsessed. The Aveeno Eczema Therapy Oat Gel.
Oh yeah. I literally told a client about that today because she was like having like this reaction on her neck and she was like, I think it's eczema. And I was like, well,
I
Aveeno.
am obsessed. I used this after my erbium and CO2 laser resurfacing. I had no itch.
Yeah.
None. It is
I've actually never
so
tried it. I just you've talked about it so much.
oh my God. I literally so I when I bought it for the laser, I didn't even know that this product existed. I was just in Target buying things. I was buying ice packs
Mm-hmm.
and I in the same aisle as the ice packs saw this little thing and it was like 1.5 ounces and it was on clearance for like $10. And I was like, well, absolutely. And I absolutely loved it. It's a very plush serum, which I
Mm-hmm.
love. I love a plush water-based serum, which is part of the reason.
Moisturizer?
No,
Serum?
serum.
Oh, it's a serum?
It's a serum.
Oh, I thought it was a moisturizer for
They
some
have a
reason.
moisturizer,
Oh, okay.
but the serum has 2% colloidal oatmeal.
Oh,
Or colloidal oat, like, I don't know
yeah.
how it's technically classified, but it means it's technically a drug. It's a drug level concentration of colloidal oat, which is considered a skin protectant, and it layers really well because it is so plush and, like, kind of thicker as a serum.
Hmm.
Still sinks in beautifully, but, like, I would layer that after anti-age step 1 and 2, after my retinoid, if I
Yeah.
wasn't actually, before the retinoid as an additional buffer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've typically done. So anti-age step 1 and 2, because those are non-irritating treatment products, add in the buffer
Mm-hmm.
of the Aveeno oat, and then go in with the retinoid, and then go in with the eye cream,
Yeah.
then moisturizer.
Yeah.
But they have it in a 5-ounce bottle,
Oh,
and it's only like $20.
wow. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this product. It is amazing. So I'll have to bring it for you to try
Okay.
because it is fantastic. And as a dry skin girly,
I am a dry skin girly.
it's so hydrating.
Yeah.
So hydrating, but it's also because of the oat, it's very soothing,
Mm,
which is why I've been using it
I
lately
love
because
that.
as I was saying, my skin's been feeling a little bit like on
Yeah.
edge. So that is occasionally going in there after the anti-age, before the retinoid, and then followed by the eye cream. And then I go in with the moisturizer. And the moisturizer honestly has been, again, the up and up version of the Vaseline thing. But if it's evening, always followed by the Vanic cream.
Yeah.
A pump of Vanic cream to kind of like lock it all in.
Yeah.
Occasionally what I'll do is before I go in with the Up and Up and the Vanna cream is after I use the anti-age eye cream, I'll go in with the
I also feel
Dew.
like I need to just clarify. I was just scratching my nose, not picking my nose. I don't know what that looked like on camera, but go on.
Interesting. If I have a ton of time, like if I was at home right now, not here filming this podcast, I would have
This
done.
is your home. What do you mean?
Shut up.
This is his house.
Anyway, the anti-age eye cream would be followed by the Dew reusable eye masks.
Yeah.
Forever eye masks is what they're
Yeah.
called. I would let that sit and then probably for hours, honestly, depending upon when I'm doing my routine, I'll do all of the treatment products and I'll put those on, even if I'm not using an eye cream, because I'm bringing my tretinoin up to my eyes. I'm bringing my anti-age up to my eyes. I'm bringing
Yeah.
all of these things up there. And then I'll put those on, let them sit. Sometimes, actually, what I've done, which I think I've sent you a picture, is that after they've been on there for a while, I'll take them off and I'll put them on my forehead.
Yeah.
Like those frownies that people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy those.
I mean, I've looked into it. I've
Stop.
thought about buying them because I'm also very behind on my Botox right now.
You and me both.
If any
Um,
reps out there watch this,
so I just put in a request for Latibo,
okay.
the latest neuromodulator on the US market.
Hmm.
So I don't know why I haven't gotten an answer back. I think their contact form's broken. That's fine.
You have to reach out again because we need some good reps.
Good
That's what we
reps.
need.
We need some good reps. Forever eye masks you can use after your moisturizer. I have done that. It's fine. Not my favorite because I would prefer, I feel like it's more intense if you put them on over the treatment products and then
Yeah.
layer on the moisturizer. But I'll remove those. And I used to, I honestly don't bother keeping the Aven spring water. I love that product. If you want a thermal spring water spray, the only one, in my view, is the Aven thermal spring water. The
The
La Roche
only
Posay, the
one.
only one. The La Roche Posay is great as a product. However, the nozzle on the sprayer, not my favorite. The Aven one is much more of a mist. The one from La Roche-Posay is much more of a spray.
I love a mist. I wish the moisture mist, like,
Yes,
we
yes.
love you. Please make it a continuous spray.
That's not good for the environment, Jade. I think.
Really?
I think.
If it's good for the environment, make it a continuous spray because
Yes, please.
it's just the best thing ever.
It is. And also, that one is more like aromatherapeutic.
Yeah.
Like it has a nice smell to it,
Yeah.
whereas the Aven is like just, spring water. But what I used to do is like apply treatment products, let them sit on the skin in the situation, sitting on the skin, and then filling that in particular areas with the Forever Eye masks, letting that sit for a while, go back into the bathroom, dampen the skin with the Aven thermal spring water, and then go in with my moisturizer, which would be the Vanicream moisturizing cream. But now it's just like I I will wash my hands. I wash my hands before everything, before I do my skincare routine. If I'm doing like a multi-step thing, like where I'm applying a mask, for example, then I let the mask sit, then I go back.
We also need to check the time because we might be slipping into having to wrap up territory.
Well, I am about to finish and then we can.
Okay.
What I was gonna say is that instead of using the Aven thermal spring water spray, I just wash my hands. And then once I fully rinsed off all of the hand soap, I just take my damp hands and put them on my face.
There you go.
And then once
Good
my face is
enough.
damp again, then I'll go in with the Vanicream moisturizing cream, let that sit, and then you're done.
Ta-da!
You now are also an esthetician.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Pay us money.
We could give them like certificates
Yeah.
with like our faces on them.
It's gonna be totally illegal, but
We won't call you estheticians. We'll call you
filtered estheticians.
I'm trying. I can't come up.
Esthetician.
See, that came to me, but then I was like, that just sounds weird.
Sounds like a bug.
Like a disease.
Yeah, caught the fest.
Okay, well, I guess that's the end.
All right.
Because Jade is hungry.
I am hungry. And I feel like we've been recording for too long. And if we keep going, we have to cut too much out. I also, where's the time?
Oh my God. It's 1 hour and 15 minutes.
I told you you're gonna have to edit so much out.
No, this could be 2 episodes.
Oh.
Now we're good. We have so much time left now.
So like in the middle, edit this in. To be continued.
To be continued. ...
Dot.
That's a lot of editing. I can't do that.
I can do it.
I'll put an ad up on Fiverr.
What?
Do you know what Fiverr is?
No.
You know what Upwork is?
Yeah. Maybe. No?
It's like a freelance website.
Oh, okay. Please help us. Because clearly we need a lot edited.
Goodbye.
Bye.